members of the internet, and welcome to this video where today I am actually on the auto show. It's a strange way to start of Forza Horizon 4 right now. It is the Vauxhall Monaro I'm currently hovering above, as you can see. It has more or less the same performance as the M5 that we'll see here, although it's 5,000 credits cheaper. I think you get where I'm going with this. It's an incredible value for money car. For the same price as a Vauxhall Astra, you can get something that's at the start of A-Class. And, I mean, that's A-Class. The very cheapest cars, if we look at these few, are 20,000 credits. And they're things like C-Class hatchbacks at best. So, I say at best. Yeah, that Volkswagen's pretty good for a 20,000 credit car, I will admit. And then we have... yeah, the Volkswagen's pretty good, but I still think the Monaro beats it personally, and that's why we're going to do a video on it. We're going to get this car. If I go on Forza Vista, I'll show you around it. It's not been in Forza for a while, not any of the Forzas I've had before this game, that's for sure, so it's a new experience for me. It's actually very good and simplistic in here. It's like something from Car Mechanic Simulator in just how simple it is under that bonnet, and that is no bad thing. If we look round the side, it does look good, I think. I think it's a very nice looking car. It is basically a Pontiac GTO or... what the Holden was. I forget the name, I'm sorry, but it is a Holden. That is essentially what it is, and they rebranded it because of GM and they have the money and power, so why not? And if we start up, we can hear that roaring V8. I think it's quite a big engine, something like a Corvette engine in here. There we go, makes just shy of 400 horsepower, I think 396, come on. Oh, that won't work. Okay, I was thinking I could go out onto the road that way, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway. So, the challenge, if you've not worked it out as of yet, is that I'm going to... set a time around this tight winding village circuit. Literally, I just looked on the map. This was near and it seemed to be quite a good handling course. And then I'm going to attempt to build something for the same kind of money that can beat it. How will I do that when it's so cheap on the, auto show? Well, I'm going to go through the auction house to get something, and... it does feel a bit slidey at the moment. It probably doesn't help that I'm using it in winter. It really is quite forgiving, to be entirely honest. Probably helped by the fact that it's not a light car. It has enough weight to plant it onto the road. Oh, come on, come on. I'm in 8th position. It is able to retain this. I'm going to do it based on the time, though, not the position. So, if these... cars that it's competing with now are particularly competitive somehow, then fair enough, it's going to be behind them while the other car may do exceptionally well. It is open class though, so that's that. I think I can kind of pull ahead, actually, at least of, say, the Jag and maybe the Clio here, by just pushing my way through. On the 3rd lap, I want that to be a good, solid, clean lap if I can possibly get that. That Bel Air is doing incredibly well. I mean, you're a 50s American car. Or, credit where credit's due. I mean, I do like 50s American cars, but they're not exactly known for getting round corners incredibly well. So for it to do... well, for it to get round corners incredibly well is, quite frankly, amazing. Come on. I know I can beat it, though. It might not be the easiest thing to do, but I know I can. Come on. And I just have to balance it out. Yeah, there we go. Try and find my way. 3rd position. There is an NSX ahead and a old Mercedes race car. I think I might have the Honda, but not the Mercedes. Maybe I don't even have the Honda, I don't know. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying my very hardest. My little fingers are trying to push the right buttons. to get this thing to go on my cheap fake Xbox 360 controller. Yeah, because I'm too cheap to even buy a real one. Even that, it was used, so yeah, it's a step below that. It's a used fake Xbox 360 controller. Mind, I do somewhat prefer the feel of it to the Xbox One controller. Ooh, there's the finish line, accelerate, and I couldn't get him, but what's my best time? 57, I think I saw. I'll have to check that back in the edit, but overall, oh, it's right there. Best lap is 57.565. That doesn't seem too bad to me. But who knows? What I do with the customised vehicle could be significantly better. So as a start, I return to the auction house to see what is available cheaply, and it actually seems like some of these have moved around, which is very strange. Is it dependent on who's buying them or winning them or what? I don't know. Either way, we do have the Nissan Nismo Sentra. I'm unlikely to go with that. It just doesn't seem great value to me. It's more than an entire class down. Same can be said for a lot of these things, to be honest. However, I want something with a lot of potential that can beat it, but that can also be somewhat cheap on the auction house. As I was saying, actually, the Golf, I might come back to that, I was saying. I think this is what I'm going to get. Not a massive Volkswagen fan myself, but there's no denying it. It's got all-wheel drive, it's got a solid enough VR6 engine, and decent amount of torque. It doesn't weigh a stupid amount. It's actually lighter than the Holden, despite being all-wheel drive. Yeah, that could be good. Alternatively, the Civic, although it is front-wheel drive, it is the same cost as well. So, yeah. It also doesn't have independent suspension. The Golf R32, I don't know what suspension it's got, but chances are it's at least semi-independent. And that's a positive, I guess. I mean, these things could face massive discounts anyway, so I could perhaps just choose whatever takes my fancy. We have the Monaro I was just using. Yeah, I feel there's something big about beating it with the Underdog, but then the Focus is already tuned to kind of a competitive level as the Monaro, so yeah, at that point, why bother? I want to beat it with them. I'd want to beat it with a Morris, but there would be so much tuning involved to actually get that to a competitive level. I think the Civic Type R, if I can get it cheap enough, would be good. Feeling that maybe an older Civic Type R would actually be better. Or that, I don't know. I think Civic Type R is what I'd try. See if I can get one of those cheap, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Come on. It does have the one advantage, that it is a naturally aspirated car, but it is not perfect. Ooh. I'm going to go on the buy it out price, I think, just to be sure. Just to be sure I'm, like, getting the solid price that I guess you as a viewer know you can get one of these cars for. 11,000, okay. So that will leave me with not much, 14,000 credits to upgrade it. I should be able to do that, actually. It does have a basket system, this game, so I don't have to bring out my calculator on my phone and do all kinds of crazy calculations. It makes it a whole lot easier if I do want to do something like this. And it is admittedly one of the crazier Civics, and I've gone out of the garage, which is quite annoying. It's easy to just double tap B and suddenly you're into the free roam mode, and then you have to go back into the garage and load everything up again, and it's, you know, it's not the worst thing. I've tried playing this game when I'm encoding or other things, and then it's using all my CPU power. That's properly annoying, but it's still a minor annoyance. A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Somewhere, yeah. I actually got that from the auction house. You can't buy the 2016 Honda by itself, but you can get it from the auction house quite cheap. So, if you're on the market for one of them, just do that. I built that into a rally car, front-wheel drive rally car even. It looks fairly similar to this generation, but this car is, I think, slightly more striking to look at. There we go. Turn the headlights on. It is not my favourite gen of Civic. I prefer the older ones with a fully independent suspension and perhaps less plastic fantastic dashboard. I mean, just look at that. There's more plastic in here than a Mattel toy factory, but but still, if it's quick, I guess who really cares? So, upgrades and tuning. As I was saying, 14,000 to make this beast faster than a Holden. Can we do it? I don't think that's really worth it, but I could be wrong. Now, this is where I have to be careful, because I could easily just throw money away, like the Aero. Thankfully, this has some body kit. It depends on if I have any free money, I might just throw some bits on, but I can't go with the Forza Aero because that's like 200,000 a pop, whereas the other extra bits are just 100 each, so they're not quite so bad. We're not going to convert anything. I don't think we'll have the money for that, just out of interest. Yeah, the only engine swap we have is a really expensive one there. We have to crucially get power, I think, and then get a bit of handling. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is not looking good. This is not looking very good at all for my Honda. Oh. No, it's okay. We can just turbo the life out of it. We can just turbo the living daylights out of it and then get the power that way. You know what? That actually works. Turbo the living daylights out of a VTEC and we get close. That's about half our budget, but we have got close by just sticking some massive turbos on. I would say brakes, but I think most crucially is tyres before we move on to the brakes. How much is the weight reduction? Because that could be a surefire way to save a bit of weight, which would improve acceleration, it'll improve handling, and it doesn't really have any downsides. It doesn't cost too obnoxiously much either. There's the roll cage, but I don't think we necessarily need it. We could go with a roll cage. How much does that cost? 700, I think I can give it a go. Although I might take it out a bit later if it proves to be too much. 13,450. So if I remember correctly, we have 14,000 to upgrade this car. I think those tyres would be a fairly wise decision. Tyres and brakes, remember, do essentially the same thing. So a tyre upgrade, a brake upgrade, is it really going to matter? I think I'll remove the roll cage thing I put on. How much is that? I don't think it needs stiffer suspension, but I could be wrong. No, you know what? You know what, I'm not... I would say I'm not taking any chances. I don't know. I guess the anti-roll bars will have to stay standard, but I'll have to lower that and put standard brakes back on. Hope the standard brakes work some miracle with it, because otherwise, how is it going to do anything? Yeah, let's just stick some nice body kit on it now to throw away some extra money. There we go. It is not the best vehicle in the world, perhaps, but I think I might have come up with something. I think I may have come up with a winner. It may not look the best, even, with the new body kit, but it's different, it's distinctive. So, I hope. It is definitely above it on the performance index, and it weighs very, very little. Yeah. I could have gone for a more handling bias setup, though. Would I? Wait a minute. I know handling is important in this game, so if I were to take that off, say, that looks like it adds 3,500. That is quite expensive. So if I were to take the turbos off, I wouldn't be turboing it to infinity and beyond, no. But I am still above the Holden on the performance classes, remember. I can go with, instead, performance parts that will help it when it comes to the corners. I can go with kind of semi-performance anti-roll. Or I shouldn't need full race suspension, let's be honest, not with this power output. And, oh. That's fine. I can have like a basic suspension improvement. Do we want standard body kit? I guess we do. The wing. I'll keep the wing. I think I like that. Anything else? We could go with some small bits, I think. No, that adds far too much money. So, we also want that, no. How about the clutch? How about differential even? No. I'm thinking maybe the differential is more useful than the brakes. Yes, I shall do something along that line. Differential instead of brakes. Probably not a good decision. No, I still can't afford it. Okay. Serious offence here. Alright, looks like I might have to try just seeking out bits. No, too expensive. That's fairly cheap, but not cheap enough. That is as well. Not cheap enough though. 2,000. Some real pricey bits here. I don't know, really. We could go... I think I'll have to go and live without the side skirts. I think that's how it's going to have to be. That's not going to win any races if I just put the side skirts on, so to speak. I mean, there's more to winning races than just adding side skirts to a Civic. It's like the suspension and stuff. Anyway, it should handle exceptionally well now. Even if the performance score is a little low. A little lower than I like, so to speak. It's still higher than the Holden. And we can install this setup. We'll go 289. It's actually higher power output than the Mazda RX-7, which is also similar kind of cost to the what's it, BMW M5. Anyway, let's see how this handles around the test course. Okay, so the Type R is ready, and I'm not in the preferable view. Okay, now I am. Stop trying to overtake me, peoples. I will use my excellent handling to outwit you. Oh, I've been outwitted by a 1970s muscle car. That's not exactly the excellent handling I was anticipating. It feels a little more slidey under brakes than I would like, but then I don't like my cars to slide under the brakes at all. It's possible that I was going to say Holden, no, the Vauxhall was doing that, but I just didn't notice because the car overall was a bit too slidey, but this is a bit more planted, a bit more of a complete, let's say, sports car in its packaging. It does feel good, but it also feels extremely, extremely firm, which it is. It's a non-independent car, unfortunately, at the rear. I guess that doesn't matter too much since it's front-wheel drive. I went through all this before in the garage, and yeah. I could have just gone with a Volkswagen. I mean, the Volkswagen is the obvious choice, though. Let's be honest, we all know a Volkswagen R32 could beat the Holden. I mean, sorry, the Vauxhall. Yeah, I just get my GM brands confused. But we all know that could beat it, because it's just got all-wheel drive and it's relatively powerful from stock. This, however, it was a bit more of a wild card, and I liked that. Now, I think this might just be a win. It feels quicker. It feels like it makes up round the corners what it might lose on the straights. And even so, is it really going to lose that much on the straights? It just lacks so much of the weight that the Vauxhall had. Come on. We have a Renault 5 Turbo. Another turbo. We have a non-turbo. I would say non-turbo. It could be converted, I guess. More likely non-turbo, though, because money's probably not an object to the AIs, let's be honest. Whereas it was quite the object to me. I think this is quite a good car. I mean, I've not been able to change the wheels. I would have sure liked to do that, but the stance overall just doesn't look too bad. Come on. Round this corner you go. Go. I'm going to get a podium. I'm going to even win this race, which is definitely something that the Vauxhall couldn't do. Yeah. I think this is quite a definitive win, actually. No, I thought it said 52 as a fastest lap. Fairly close, but still 2.5 seconds faster. Yeah, what did you expect? Vauxhall was mighty impressive though for a standard vehicle with rear-wheel drive in the snow. So, that was it for today's episode. I mean, thanks for watching, I guess. You can clearly hear it's got a lovely, lovely VTEC sound. I guess that's the one revival, other than it just being much quicker. I mean, there's no doubt that it's quicker. I don't need to look back even to know that much. We have someone's shed here, which we can just dump the Civic in front of. Oddly, we didn't hit it. We hit the thing. I was just parking it, okay? Totally meant to do that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for today, and I will say goodbye until another day.